Hello everyone, it's AG, and as you can see I am dressed as a wood nymph, wood fairy, who knows really. Either way, I will be talking today about Silver in the Wood by Emily Tesh. This is a gaslight fantasy / romance inspired by the Green Man Mythos. Also, a huge thank you to Tor.com for gifting me a copy of this book. I myself actually was quite confused as to what exactly the Green Mythos was because I hadn't heard about it previously. However, after doing some research, I found out that it originated from a pre-Christian symbol which used to be carved on the wood and stone of pagan temples, graves, and medieval churches. A little less than a century ago, a woman by the name of Lady Raglan wrote about this symbol and thus created the Green Man Mythos. And so was born the spirit of ancient woodlands, so full of life, a sight reminiscent of a time in which the world was greener and filled with mostly the sound of nature. If you would like to know more about the origins of the Green Man Mythos, Tesh actually wrote an article for Tor.com, so I have left a link in the description box. Now that has been cleared up, let's just jump into it. Silver in the Wood is a story about a man called Tobias who lives in the woods of Green Hollow. There amongst the trees and dryads, Tobias lives a very peaceful life. That is until Green Hollow Hall gets a new, handsome and incredibly curious new owner called Henry Silver. Henry is a folklorist and thus goes around Green Hollow to learn more about local folktales to write them down. It is when Henry one day finds his cabin that Tobias is forced to reckon with his troubled past, as well as the green magic of the woods and the dark things that rest in its heart. I love this novella. It is a very quick, cute and dark read. The source material that inspired this story was quite unique, and I loved how the time period as well as the mystery of the woods gave this romance a very eerie feel. It slightly reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, but then darker and more queer. So if you're into dark, archaic romance stories, then I think this one would definitely be right up your alley. The tricky thing about novellas is that you can't pack too much into them. Tesh, however, did an amazing job of letting the story progress naturally whilst also keeping to a very nice pace. I, however, would have liked to have learned more about the magic of the woods and for the story to go more into the background of the antagonist and Tobias, because I felt that that part of the story was a bit vague to me, but I personally feel that that didn't hurt the story all that much, and that was because the main focus was on Tobias and Henry and how they moved through the story, and I just really liked the dynamic between these characters. The story for me was very unpredictable. I had no idea which turns it would be taking, but I was pleasantly surprised with how the story progressed and how it eventually ended. And so I would definitely recommend Silver in the Wood. Either way, that was everything I had to say with regards to the book. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.